How's it guys, Munash here, and today we have some Alliance War gameplay with the new tactics. So this was the first war that took place with the new tactics. So I picked part 2 today because I saw there were 2 champs in section 1 who had the new tactic. It's called High Ground, and the way it works is every 20 seconds the defender counters Quake. Yeah, like that's pretty much how I see it. They get an altitude charge every 20 seconds which gives them true accuracy, so no evade for Quake. And they'll also do a burst of 750 energy damage per altitude charge when you block their attacks. And the only way to prevent all this is with your combo meter, because every 10 hits will remove 1 altitude charge. So I'm just using Doom for this Nova. It's a pretty standard fight, even though it does have that Mystic Ward for 95%. Can still just go in and slap the Starfish off his face, and yeah, it's a very straightforward fight with Doom. You don't really need to nullify that much as long as you can power control. And it's kind of funny doing this fight now because, as you can see, I'm not even using special 3s yet because I'm just so used to Protect or fighting him on Part 5 Section 1, so I kind of forgot that Doom actually has a special 3. Took me a while to realize, and it only happened because there was a point where we both had 2 bars of power, but I didn't have the aura, so I was like, oh, that's right, I can go beyond 2 bars of power. I'm not using a Walker right now. And that's how the fight is supposed to be done, because that special 2 doesn't really do much against Nova. So now I finally do the textbook Doom rotation, so special 3 for the Fury, then the usual double medium, triple light, double medium combo, into a special 1 to steal 2 bars of power, unblockable special 2, and then the Incinerates should take him out. So I don't know if you guys were paying attention to the defense tactic, but I took 4 blocked hits while he had an altitude charge, which resulted in me losing about 10% health during this fight. So now we have Yellowjacket, who's also a high ground defender, and I'm gonna use Nick Fury for this one, so it's gonna be over in about 30 seconds, so he will only ever get 1 altitude charge in this fight. And Fury special 1 does have like 10,000 hits, so it's pretty good for building up that combo. So after doing these 2 fights, I was a little bit confused about what exactly is the goal or the purpose of these new tactics, because they don't seem to be very impactful overall. I just lost 10% health on Doom from a few blocked hits, but I mean, I approached that fight the same way I would if there was no tactic at all. I mean, sure, it'll affect champs who rely on evade, as if there are so many champs out there like that. It's only really Quake, you know, in high tier wars at least. Maybe champs like, I don't know, Elsa or Spider-Gwen, but they're still usable. I mean, it's only really Quake who kind of gets shut down by this tactic. I guess the energy damage can be annoying in matchups where you can't really parry stun the opponent, and if you can't play aggressively enough to do 10 hits every 20 seconds. Maybe the tactic might be a bit more problematic in those scenarios, but it just seems like it's almost negligible for the most part, and some of these high ground defenders are not the most difficult to deal with. So it's just strange for me because every time they shake things up in Alliance War, there's usually one new dominant tactic which often causes problems in Alliance War for the first month or so. I remember when Flow was introduced, it was pretty bad because we were also getting defenders like Mojo at the time. It kind of reminded me of the old Mystic Wars, like back when Dispersion used to be overpowered on defense. Almost everyone in the group would be running a team that includes either Quake, Magic, or Guillotine 99. But then of course over time things get a little bit better, we adapt, and they actually allow us to disable the node by parrying or using certain champs. So we got comfortable for a bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, we get Stubborn with the new war map. Wait, actually Stubborn came before the new map, but oh boy, do you remember that first iteration of Stubborn when there was still no offense or attack tactics, and before they nerfed the block damage? Potion usage was off the charts, people were outraged, and it was just a wild time to be playing high tier Alliance War. They also effectively handicapped Quake and Ghost as well. Like, I was doing a lot of heavy only when Stubborn was still a thing, or a lot of people were just doing heavy parry quite a bit. And yeah, people were still effectively using Ghost as well, but it just wasn't the same. Took a while to adapt and definitely made some fights a bit trickier. So we had Stubborn for a while, then eventually they got rid of it, but they never really replaced it with anything worthy, I guess. So recently it's just been Protect with a little bit of Bulwark on the side. Now they've gotten rid of all of that and given us a whole new pool of tactics to choose from, but they just don't seem to do a whole lot. When I came out of this war I thought that was very mild, but then I realized it's just the first war and maybe it's a little bit too soon to judge. Perhaps they just didn't have the best placements, but either way I need more experience because 3 fights is not enough. But now, at the time I'm recording this, I've done 3 wars with this tactic, and honestly I could have done every single fight without even knowing that the tactic is there or what it does. Like seriously, when I see high ground, all I think is, okay, I can't use Quake for that fight. I wasn't gonna use Quake anyway, so that's convenient. I'm not thinking, oh no, 750 block damage, how will I ever cope? By adding 10 hits to your combo, of course. Yeah, but that means I have to tap and swipe while he's not blocking, like that is so difficult. Yeah, no one is losing sleep over 750 block damage, I mean, come on. And just to be clear, I am not complaining about this because I know it might sound like I am. But nah, I just found the whole thing to be a bit strange and kind of funny as well. Because I thought Kabam would be trying to make high tier Alliance War just a little bit more challenging. Because I know a lot of the time in Master, there's not much that separates the 2 alliances. Like it might just be 1 or 2 deaths that decide it all. And you do get a lot more draws as well, which are quite annoying. But now with these new tactics as they are, and from my experience, it seems like Alliance War is just gonna be easier now. Which means even less deaths and less to separate the 2 alliances. Like right now I'm fighting this Wasp with Doom who's on the Rage mini-boss node. And as you can see, it's a very basic fight. All I'm doing is dropping 5-hit combos. Nothing special at all, I'm not even using the heavier attack because it's Rage. And there's also return policy, so nullifying will give her power. So I'd rather not hit too hard. All I need to do is parry, drop basic combos, and bait special 1. I'm not even worried about altitude, I will still parry when I need to, and it's usually not there when I need to because it gets removed very easily. And when I actually parry when it's there, well, I lose 2%. Boo-hoo. But hey, let me stop criticizing the tactic before Kabam devs hear about it and take it too seriously. Because the last thing we want is a new patch update where they fixed an issue where high ground was not doing enough damage, or will now scale with nodes. Opponents will also go unblockable while having true accuracy. If the attacker dodges an unblockable attack, they will be inflicted with passive degen. If they're immune to the degen, they instantly get knocked out instead. Obviously I'm over exaggerating, but there is a lot of stuff they can do to make this node more impactful. But maybe they don't need to, I mean it's only been a week so far, so we haven't figured out everything yet. But if they do change it in some way, it should be minor. So that's all for high ground, and now I do have a bonus fight I guess, because initially I wasn't going to take this fight, but I mean I brought CGR, because there was a chance that I would take it. So we got a Killmonger with Aspect of Evolution, Improved Power Gain, Enhanced Special 2, and Special 2 Bias. So I'm going to use my standard long fight rotation, it's the one that I usually use in Labyrinth. So I do my 2 combo enders, get the vigilance and the power gain, and I can dex because I'm not throwing the special 2 during this cycle. So I'm gonna parry and then heavy cancel into special 3 to end the cycle. Then after the special 3 animation, he will be power locked before the new cycle begins. Once the power lock expires, get the vigilance and the power gain again. Build to 2 bars of power, and I probably should have just thrown the special 2 right then and there, but instead I parried and then heavy cancelled into special 2. And this was a little bit risky because he almost dexed it or blocked it due to having max limber, and I might have been just slightly slow after that parry. But fortunately he remained vulnerable, so CGR just destroyed him. So that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you guys found it interesting. Would like to know what you think about the new tactics in the comments, but as always, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.